Good morning. Welcome to Saturday with Mr. Holster. Today we're going to look at a firearm, a handgun, a revolver, a shooter, a gat, a heater, a snubby. There you go. We're looking at a snubby. We're also going to be commercial free because I just went through that list. Today we're looking at two revolvers. Before I get started, I'm sitting at my desk here, which is, this desk was made in 1929, and the matching chair accompanying it. And it's kind of creaky, so if you hear some creaks, it may actually be the chair and not Mr. Holster. Just try to ignore them. Today we're going to look at two revolvers, two snubbies, and these are two that I own. So that's why we're looking at these two, because I think they're the best, and they're the best to choose from. And I say that because, not because they are the best, but just what I think, you see. That's how the world works. You go on YouTube and you watch these people, and all you're really finding out is what they think and what they believe. Not necessarily what is the ultimate truth. Bear that in mind. And as you listen to people talk and tell you things, and you experience things and try things out, when you get down to that final decision-making process to get what you want, there you go. That's what you get, what you want. Not what somebody told you to get. What works for you, what you like. And it's very important you like what you're getting, because chances are, let's put it this way, in all the firearms I've shot in my life, the ones I like are the ones I shot best. Yeah, it's very important you like the firearm you're going to shoot. So there, I got that over with, and it only took 2 minutes of your life. You'll never ever get back again. Let's get down to the subject at hand. We're talking about 5-shot snubby revolvers, and we're going to compare two. And I think these two, if you're looking to buy a 5-shot snubby revolver, these two are two you should consider. Number one, the Ruger SP101 357 Magnum. And I think you should consider a 357 Magnum, because if you're going to use this firearm, sooner or later you're going to want to carry some defensive ammo in it. And I would suggest you carry either something in 357 Magnum or in 38 Special Plus P, so you can give yourself some confidence that that bullet will expand as it's designed to. And I say that because you get in the 38 Special and your velocity is going to be low enough. Chances are you're not going to find something that will expand like it's supposed to, and you're going to have over penetration more than you want. Surprisingly so, because the 38 Special is small enough, that's what it's going to do. Yeah. Even at the lower velocity of 800 feet per second, it's going to penetrate more than you want to, probably. Where if you step up to the Plus P at the higher velocity, get it so it's going 1,000 feet per second, you're going to pretty much guarantee you got the expansion of that bullet. And that's going to, when it hits whatever the target is, it's going to expand, and that's going to put on the brakes. There you go. Got that taken care of, and that's why I like 357 Magnum, because even if I'm just going to shoot a 38 Plus P, which, in case you're a novice to this, you can shoot 38s in 357 Magnum. Even if I'm just going to shoot a 38 Plus P, the fact that it's a 357 Magnum makes me feel better, because I don't fear wearing the firearm out prematurely. I've had many a firearm that's rated for 38 Plus P that didn't hold up as long as I thought it should, shooting that 38 Plus P to a real extent, because they don't expect most people to shoot them very much. Just something to bear in mind. That's why I like to step up to the 357 Magnum. Get that out of the way and explain that. Number two, the other firearm is the Smith & Wesson 640. This one happens to be a 640-1. Here, I'll hold it a little closer so you can see. Yeah. Notice there is no hole. Yeah, this is an older one. They still make it identical to this, except for it's got a little hole and a key that comes with that. Which, nothing against that, and maybe that's something you want so you can secure your firearm Personally, I like to lock them in a safe. So that becomes immaterial to me, number one. Number two, when I was a kid, I was a kid. We used to go to Michigan and Bay City, Michigan, and stay with my grandparents for a couple weeks every year in the summertime. And one year, my grandfather got a brand new, I think it was a 64 or 65. I think it was a 65, but it could have been 64. New Yorker. And I can remember my dad saying, we were looking at it, and my dad said, why didn't you get power windows? And he said, that's just something else to go wrong. So I hesitate to get excited about a lock on a gun if I don't have a use for it, because it'd be just something else to go wrong. And Mr. Holster's experience in life is, if it can possibly go wrong, yeah, it will for Mr. Holster. So, real quick synopsis of these two firearms so I don't hold you up too long here. This one here is made of stainless steel, as is the Ruger SP101. This has a 2 1/8 inch barrel, where the Ruger has a 2 1/4 inch barrel. Both 5 shots. Both pretty identical in size. Fixed sights. A black blade sight on the front, and the rear sight just cut right into the frame. Fairly comparable firearms. The Smith & Wesson tends to run a little more expensive than the SP101. SP101 can be had with a hammer that can be cocked, or a hammer that makes it double action only that can't be cocked. 640 here is available as a double action only because the hammer is inside. Personally, I think the only real use for a firearm like this is self-defense, and in that case, it behooves you to have one that can't be cocked, that you can only shoot double action only. And I'll go into more detail on that on my Patreon page. There you go, guys. There's two firearms to look at that are great snubbies. And I just scratched the surface on the information there, but I think I gave you enough to get you to look at them and think about it. Fairly comparable in both price, size, and appearance, really. The Ruger, however, is just a slight bit heavier and a little more weight in the front, so it has a little less recoil. I think that about snubs it up. So there you go. Thanks for tuning in this week. That's 7 minutes and 56 seconds of your life you'll never, ever, ever get back again listening to Mr. Holster talk about a pair of snubbies that are pretty much identical. Yeah. Both of them very nice firearms, and they're made of a material that isn't seen too much nowadays. It's called steel. And Jack was telling me a story the other day. Back when Jack worked for the Secret Service during the Clinton administration, the vice president took him aside and said, "Jack, I don't think you should be using a Glock." And Jack said, "And why is that?" And he said, because it's made of plastic, and by the year 2020, the sun will be so hot on the earth it'll melt. So, Jack, you got a year before that gun. Well, you don't own a Glock, do you? No. Yeah. Well, there you go. You don't have to worry about it, though. Yeah. So that you can throw that in your concerns about global warming, that if you own a Glock, you got even more problems. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time, from Mr. Holster and Jack, go out and stay safe. Thanks for tuning in to the first episode of, and listen to this, Jack, I figured it out. This is what we're going to call it, Saturday with Mr. Holster. I like that name. Is that all right with you? What do you mean you don't give a... I'm not even going to repeat what you said. It's a family show, Jack. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in to the first episode of Saturday with Mr. Holster. If you found this interesting and have any interest in the item we were talking about, head on over to my Patreon page. Link's right down there, where we talk about it a little more in depth. Yeah. Doesn't cost you a dime. It's put up there for anybody to see. Till next time, for Mr. Holster and the foul-mouthed Jack, go out and stay safe. Well, I thought it was funny. Well, that's fine. You know, not everybody agrees on everything, Jack.